Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where our news bonanza continues. Because if you look behind me, ooh, live arena. Wait, what's this? In the Relic Forge, faction wars. Wow, what is going on? Well, very simply, guys. Obviously, with hard mode faction wars, and I've got obviously a full walkthrough of that. Yeah, there's gonna be tons more faction wars content than you know what to do with on the channel. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But for the materials drops, obviously also the glyphs, we're now getting that. I've done videos on this as well, but you're going to get relic drops, possibly also one-time rewards. They unlocked everything for us on the test server, so I'm not sure about one-time rewards. And of course, as we saw in this track, you're getting some relic bits for clearing through here as well, and all of that. New faction war relics. What are they? Let's take a look. That's the point of this video. Cover all that stuff in the others. But yes, here they are, the new faction war relics. Are they even any good? Let's take a look and let's see what's going on. I guess we'll move me over to this side of the screen. Let's dive in. We've got the Codex Luminous. I wonder if this looks like maybe Arbiter's face is on the front. I wonder if Udex Artor has this. It's got that same sort of Latin wording. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe someone finds it on his model. Who knows? But we've got HP main stat, defense mid, resistance top stat. Wearer receives 5% less damage from champions that have a different affinity that goes up to 10%. This is probably one that you would not fully level up unless you were talking about you're watching this videos years from now. I doubt you'd be leveling up a rare to max when you've got probably all of your other relics that are better needed maxing as well. Let's say reasonably enough. I'd say reasonable enough to get to 7 or 8% damage reduction if you really want to. Solid, nothing crazy. It's just a decent middle of the road bonus. You know, feels like a sort of 5 out of 10 to me. Square relic, square gem slot is good for defense. Yeah, middle of the road. It's fine. Not bad. Some of the rares are absolutely useless. This one is actually okay, but nothing too crazy. The Arachnelixir. I love the name. Attack, HP, and accuracy. The wearer's poison debuffs deal bonus damage equal to 50% of the wearer's attack. This goes up actually a lot. This goes up an extra 100% up to... Now, it says plus, so I presume it goes up to 150%, which is potentially quite a lot. I mean, let's say, let's look at Nishak. Hopefully I've got Nishak built. He stands out as being good. Nishak's got so many good relics, mind you. But my Nishak, for example, is 8,000 attack. If we're doing 50% of that from a baseline relic and we have something better, pretty easy to get it to around 100%. So let's actually say, roughly, if we did 100% of our attack as bonus damage, every time a poison ticked, we'd be doing an extra 8,000 damage. If we have increased attack buff on, I presume that would up it by more. You know, we'd be almost 15,000 at that. Not quite. We'd be about 12,000 or so at that point. Pretty good. 12,000 extra damage per poison. Let's say in arena, that actually could start adding up. So I think this one's got good potential. Now, obviously, there's many poisoners that would not build any attack. So that's obviously a big downside. But I think for some of those niche characters, it's not too bad. And yeah, I guess one of the big questions is, of course, does this get reduced by enemy defense? You know, or does it ignore defense? Does this add on to the poison damage, or is it just an extra proc? I'm guessing it's probably an extra proc. But let's say, for example, great example, 9-piece Slayer set. It seems like it, I think, what's it say? He's got a chance to do, I don't know, 30% bonus damage. But of course, it doesn't actually do 30% bonus damage. So it's all about how the stuff is coded, how it interacts with other things. So that remains to be seen. I think this has some decent potential for a rare. This could actually be kind of okay on some champions. Like, you know, slap this on your Kale and you're good. Actually, one question that I haven't thought about until now. Do you get any relics from... Oh, it doesn't look like it. That sucks. It doesn't look like you get any faction war relics from normal. So that's a pity because, yeah, getting that on an early game Kale could be really nice, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's unlikely you're still using normal Kale when you get to hard mode. Perched Shadow is up next. It's our epic here. HP, defense, and then a bit of speed. Of course, you know, you're basically never getting these top stats unlocked, but hey, it is there. The wearer has a 10% chance to receive an extra turn when using their default skill. If at least one active skill is on cooldown, that actually goes up a lot. It goes up 12%. Again, kind of annoying. This might actually be one. Off the top of my head, though, this might be a relic you do take to maximum. This actually seems pretty darn good. At the very least, you're going to easily enough get it up to about a 16% chance. So it's not crazy often. It goes up to a maximum of 22% chance. That's pretty good. Like, slap this on a Rotus. It's not bad, really, is it? On top of his base chance to get an extra turn on his A1, just a 22% chance. I mean, most champions, you're just straight up giving a 22% chance for an extra turn, maxed out on this, on their A1, because of course you're going to have active skills on cooldown. It's actually really solid. So yeah, I think Perched Shadow actually seems like a pretty good one. It's a low enough chance to work, but it's a very powerful. Extra turns a really powerful effect. There's even a bunch of gems that do stuff off of extra turns, which is a bit limited right now, so this would interact with this well. I think this is a good relic. I actually think it's very solid. And yeah, sort of generally good. Good for supports. You could even slap this on HP damage dealers, champions like Rotus, Arix, etc. It could actually be kind of punishing. It's an interesting choice. So I actually like that one quite a lot. The Hammer of Ending, HP, attack, and crit damage. So a bit of a weird mix of stats. The wearer has a 15% chance to place an unresistible stun debuff on a single target for one turn whenever they reduce a target's HP by 30% or more with a single skill. That goes up to another 25%, so it goes up to 40%. So you have a maximum 40% chance to stun single target when you hit somebody pretty hard. Seems a little bit niche. So because it's HP main stat, and it's a damage relic as well, pushes it a bit more towards HP damage dealers. Also has to be somewhere where you can reduce someone's HP by 30% or more, but also not be killing them, and also have them vulnerable to stun. Seems like it would actually be quite good for Faction Wars. This seems like a good Faction Wars relic. It is only epic, so you might get it, and it might actually help you complete some of these faction crypts, right? And it could be good even on a normal damage dealer there, right? The HP to survive against the Faction War hard waves. And then, hey, your damage dealer can be landing some stuns. It doesn't seem to have a cooldown, but it is only single target. So I presume if I nuke 5 enemies and I bring them all down by, let's say, 50% HP, it will probably only stun the first one, I would guess. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see exactly how this one works. This seems okay. Yeah, feels more Curse City, Faction Wars. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting from the Hammer of Ending. Maybe some HP nukers in Arena could use it a little bit as well. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, you throw it on a Rotus and he's got a 40% chance to stun. Maybe. It might be okay. But yeah, might be okay. We'll see. The Collective, our first legendary. Crit damage, HP, and speed. The wearer does 1% more damage per buff on them. Removes all buffs from the wearer at the end of each turn. Oh my god. And this goes up an extra 2%. Oh my god, this is so... Oh, I hate this. I hate this. Number one, this effect is so dodgy, but it is so loaded up. You get as much from leveling from level 5 to 6 as you do from level 4 to 5 combined. You get 2% total from going from getting level 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then another 2% here. So this is massively backloaded, massively so. When you do max it out, it is 5% more damage per buff. I mean, if you got 5 buffs, it's 25% more damage. Where is this going to be useful? I mean, we have to go... This is obviously now... I think it's fair enough probably to say the Arethi Coronet is kind of overtuned. You know, you look at Hydra or something, this is going to be quickly enough, even Chimera, can quickly enough get you up to 30% damage bonus the whole time. This is a legendary. This is definitely not as good. Maximum buffs you can have is 10. So you could have 50% damage boost, which is massive, obviously. It's huge. It seems awkward, though. Removing all your buffs at the end of your turn leaves you very vulnerable. This would be better, I suppose, on HP nukers who can take a hit and survive. But yeah, this seems pretty bad. Now, one thing is, I do wonder, how does this interact with protected buffs? So let's say I put someone in with like a Necret in a protection set even to double up on the protectedness. If I've got a bunch of protected buffs, will it still remove them? If it doesn't remove protected buffs, then this could actually be pretty good if you run it with people in protection sets. If it does remove protected buffs, then we're in trouble, and this seems pretty dreadful, actually. But yeah, I am definitely skeptical about this level 6 being this powerful relative to the other levels. I think that feels really bad considering how... I mean, they are giving us more and more ways to get relics, but nonetheless, it's going to be really tough to get that up to level 6. And like, do I really want to push that to level 6 over leveling up my Wands of Submission or my Cat's Gaze, that sort of thing? Probably not. But yeah, let me know if the collective is raising your eyebrows as much as it is mine. The Eternal Soul Jail over here is up next. Legendary HP attack and crit damage. Oh, wow. We've got... oh, no, sorry. It's the same as the Hammer of Ending. Same stats there. The first hit received by the wearer from each enemy in a round will deal 10% less damage. Each subsequent hit from each enemy that round will deal 5% less damage. Okay, and then the damage reduction. Again, we've got a big chunk at 6, but we're still getting a lot of the value as we go. Maxed out, we're getting 30, yeah. 40%. Wow, that maxed out a lot, and then an extra 5. So, at maximum rank, the first hit from every enemy in a round, 40% less damage, and then you just generally take 10% less damage from then on. Actually really good, you know? For an arena relic, that's great. Just, yeah, you take huge reduced damage on the first nuke of the fight against any go first nukers, but then you've got consistent damage reduction after that. This will be very helpful for Faction Wars itself, be very helpful for Cursed City as well. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, even just the flat damage reduction that's super consistent after that, on top of having a good few gem slots, makes this pretty decent. I like this one. This one seems good. Solid relic. Again, it's not crazy OP, blowing my mind, but this feels like, you know, a good solid 7 or 8 out of 10. Like a solid, that's okay. I'm happy enough having that. It's not bad. Not bad. I can slap that on some arena characters and feel a lot tankier, and that's good. I do think the stats are a bit weird. HP is very generally useful. For anyone who wants to not take damage, HP, great. Pretty much the best stat in the game. Attack and crit damage, that's a bit odd. Feels like this relic, I might level it up to level 3 or level 4 and be like, yeah, that's probably good enough, is sort of my feeling on it. Then we come to the Mind of Markat. It does look a little catty, all right, if I look at his face. Accuracy, speed, and HP. Okay, this is a very nice little combo. There's not too many relics that have this either. Main stat accuracy is a very powerful one, and mid stat speed is very good. I mean, speed is the best stat, so yeah, there's very few that have speed as the main stat anyway. But here, let's take a look. You have got a 25% chance of placing a fatigue debuff for 1 turn with each hit. Let's just come over here for a second so we know what we're talking about. We come over here. Fatigue is a new debuff. Am I going to be in the way of this? I might well be. No, not quite. We're good. Fatigue. Champions under a fatigue debuff will receive a sleep debuff for 1 turn after using an active skill. If a champion with fatigue debuff uses a skill that removes debuffs, it's removed and the sleep will not be placed. Okay, so basically, after you use an active skill, you get put asleep for 1 turn. It's not protected. You know, if you get hit once, you're just going to wake up. But yeah, and then if it's removed with debuff removal, I presume it's actually a little bit unclear because they've clarified this. So if, let's say I place fatigue on Mithrala, unlikely with a resist, but let's say you do. I place fatigue on Mithrala. If she uses her A3 to remove fatigue, she doesn't get put to sleep. Straightforward. I'm not sure if Mithrala is there with, I don't know, Loki, if fatigue is on Loki and Loki removes it, again, I presume that if it's removed by a debuff removal skill, then Loki also would not go to sleep. He has not used an active skill, Loki specifically, so he shouldn't get the sleep debuff, I think. I think that's how it works. Yeah. Seems a bit weak, honestly. I like the stats. It's got lots and lots of gem slots. That's always very strong. So it goes up a lot. Again, it's very weighted to level 5 and 6. For 15%, 25, 35. So it goes up to 60% total. You've got a 60% chance to place fatigue with every hit. So you obviously need this on a champion with high enough accuracy to place it, though the stats will help. You're going to want someone that's actually hitting, doing attacks. But yeah, it is a little bit weird, a little bit niche. Maybe could be helpful for faction wars. Enemies do an active skill, they go asleep, I guess. Though probably the debuff cleansers are some of the biggest threats in there. Or, I mean, if an enemy has used an active skill, that skill by nature of it is on cooldown already. So they've already done one of the scariest things they can do. Their follow-up turns are not quite as bad. Seems a bit weird. Maybe there will be some use for this, but this to me is not screaming crazy. This seems like a bit underwhelming. I don't know, let me know. I could be wrong on this, but my initial impression is when you see that red relic, you're like, oh my god, I finally got a mythical relic. It's finally happened. If I got the Mind of Markat, I feel like I'd be going like, oh, that's not great. I guess people might not really... One thing about it, I don't believe there's any other source of fatigue in the game apart from the Mind of Markat right now. People might genuinely not know what fatigue is, so you might catch people completely out of guard in Arena. I do think this will be very good in live Arena, where you can intentionally not target people. It might actually be kind of OP there. I mean, if you consider 60% chance you're just constantly putting out these sleeps randomly, it could be very frustrating to play against. Maybe it is actually going to be a monster in live Arena. Yeah, maybe. In normal Arena, of course, like if you're using AI, auto battle stuff, the AI is just going to be hitting people that are asleep and they're going to wake up and it's not going to do anything. But it could be very strong for live Arena. It could be very strong for faction wars. Anywhere where you might manual and it's very difficult. Then we've got the Torch of Thaldom. Very cool. This one is super appropriate, actually, to be the mythic relic for faction wars. Wearer has their stats increased by 1% for every ally from the same faction. It's got HP, defense, and attack base. So just generic stats. It's sort of nothing special, but good for everyone, really. Pretty much, apart from the attack. But again, it's you don't get the attack until the very end. HP mostly. But a big mix of gem slots. This goes up. Extra. Again, it's very weighted towards the end. But it is a mythical relic, so that's not as bad, you know? You're more inclined to level them up. And this one seems pretty good, depending on how it works. Pretty easy to get an extra 1.5, so pretty darn easy to get up to 2.5% stats per same ally. And then it goes up total 1.5, 2.5, and 3. No, sorry, 4. 4 here. Yeah, it goes up to 4, 5. So 5%. When it's maxed out, 5% stats for every ally from the same faction. So in faction wars, you're going to have 4 allies. It might include yourself. So you're either getting 20 or 25% stats. In Arena and Siege, you've either got 3 or 4 allies. You're either getting 15 or 20% stats. That's actually potentially very strong. So it depends. It depends how it works, actually. It's a little bit unclear, I think. Here we go. Lazarius is a great example. So first of all, stats. Of course, I'm blocking it like an idiot. Here we go. Stats. How does it work? Is it just off my base stats? Because not only is this, of course, giving you like HP, attack, and defense, but speed is a stat. Is this giving you like 20% more speed? That's actually really good. What about crit rate? Is it giving me plus 20% crit rate, plus 20% crit damage? Resistance, ignore defense. Does it give ignore defense or not? It is a basic stat according to the main stat page in the game. Do I get ignore defense from it? I just don't know. It's like, who knows? Probably not, but you should. It's again, this is where some clarity in the game design is a little bit lacking there. It would be nice if there was a clarification button or something that would say exactly. Another question would be, for example, my aura here. Well, hang on. What's an even better example? Let's look at this. Trunda, I'm getting 30% attack. Now, it's only for magic, but 36% attack in all battles. Now, that auras work off your base stats. So this is going to be only off her base stat. It's irrelevant what gear I have on. Whereas Lazarius, when he comes in and he gives me 50% attack, that goes off my in-battle stats. So this actually significantly stronger. If I've built 5,000 attack, it gives me an extra 2,500. How is this relic going to work? Is it going to be off base stats? Is it going to be off pre-battle stats? If I get 20% more crit rate, if I've got, let's say if I've got 20% crit rate, am I going to get What's 20% of 20%? 4%? Am I getting 4%? Or am I getting plus 20%, bringing me up to 40%? How is that interacting? All of that is unclear. I do think this has very good potential. This is clearly going to be amazing for faction Unity champions, obviously, who are nearly always going to be with their faction. It's I think this is very, very strong. Definitely leans towards faction Unity. Going to be amazing for faction wars. I guess that's one of my only concerns about this is it is a mythical relic from faction wars, and probably the best place for it is faction wars. Surely, unless you are ridiculously lucky, by the time you get a mythical faction war relic, you've probably been farming faction wars for months. You've probably completely smashed out that content. I think you get one mythical craft from faction wars after fully clearing it, or pretty much fully clearing it. So it's pretty late. And that's if you get it. You've only, what, a 20% chance to get a mythical relic, and then you'd have to roll this particular one. So would it help you? Can you even get it to help you finish faction wars? I don't know. And of course, will we get any new faction war content after this? Probably not for like 3 or 4 years. It's probably going to be a long way out. So it's a bit of a weird one. But I do think this one has a lot of potential. So this one could actually be really good, depending on exactly how it works, exactly which stats it means. This could potentially be really good. I think this one is strong. And Mind of Markat, it's grown on me a little bit. I do feel like this might be super obnoxious in Arena. Yeah, so there we go. They are all the relics. Let me know what you think. Which ones are your favorite? I actually think it's a pretty good mix. I felt like the Live Arena relics, considering how annoying Live Arena is to do, I feel like these are a bit more niche. Yeah, even the clan relics, I do feel like this is probably arguably the stronger drop of relics. I don't know. The collective definitely stands out to me as being a bit weird, and Hammer of Ending doesn't seem too crazy. But the others actually feel, these 6 over here feel reasonable enough. So it's a decent batch of new relics to add in right there. So there you go. The Faction War relics. Let me know what you think. I don't believe we have any new gemstones. I think they're all the same. So they've never added any new gemstones. But that's been more relics, and there's more coming soon. I mean, we need Siege. So standard, we've got Chimera, Event Relics, Clan Relics, Live Arena, Faction Wars. I think we're definitely getting Siege relics, probably when they update Siege in probably 2 or 3 months or so, I would guess. And will we see more? Will they add any to other content in the game? I'm not sure. Definitely with future content, I could totally see it. I think then events are going to be a consistent one with new relics and stuff as well. Maybe they'll add in more to these existing pools. Who knows? I don't know. Let me know what you think, though, of these ones. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it was interesting, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.